guys, how's everybody doing? My name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now I had a call from my mum. Oh, it's about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I don't know, maybe it was, no, it must have been later than that because I walked back. This is my handbag, I'm just getting my phone out in case my mum rings. So I took a call from my mum about 2:15 this afternoon. Right, so, so I'm competing with somebody yelling outside, I can't do that. So, guys, I had a call about 2:30, and my mum said, would I like to come up? In fact, I hadn't walked back. I was still indoors. I'd cooked my lunch and I was still indoors. So basically, my mum said to me, do I want to go up this afternoon or do I want to go up tomorrow? And tomorrow I've got to go and collect my tablets from the chemist. So I've got to go to Boots tomorrow and get my tablets from the chemist. They've been in there, they would have been in there a whole week. My mum's given me some Morrison's painkillers. She said, if you're suffering from pain, Nessie, you know, she gave me some paracetamol from Morrison's. So my mum gave me some paracetamol from Morrison's in case the pain in my jaw and face hurt. Kind of well, wasn't it? So, my mum said that it might be difficult to get a taxi because it was Father's Day to take Max the dog. So she managed to get a taxi. And this is where it badly goes wrong. There's nothing I can do about it. Calling the police won't, nothing will happen of it, it never does. This is where I could have had a nasty accident and the driver. I don't know what taxi company my mum called. So a white taxi appeared at the bottom of the road. It was an Indian Asian driver. A white taxi appeared right at the bottom of Coleman Creek Wharf. The phone rang, and it was my mum, and she said the taxi driver's there, Ginestra, not Crystal, Ginestra. The taxi then turned around and parked outside my apartment. So she said, can you drive to 7 Corries Road? That's where I live, 7 Corries Road. So he parked outside the flats, and I got into the car, and I didn't notice anything at first. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the car, otherwise I wouldn't have got in it. Basically, I got into the back seat of the car with Max. He was sat on my lap. I did not know there was anything wrong with the car. As I said, I wouldn't have gone in it. It drove along, and when it got to New Road, almost near the petrol station, a bald-headed man, completely, she said Ginestra, not Crystal, remember, not Jennifer either. So a bald-headed man driving a car came up to close to near the taxi, and he went, what the fuck you doing? And I thought, my God, what is he talking about? Because I'd been hearing a funny noise. And I thought it was that guy's car. So I questioned the Asian driver of the taxi, and I said, what's he shouting at you? What? Oh, thunderstorm now. What's he shouting at you for? He said, oh, he's trying to overtake me. But he didn't overtake him. He stayed there. So the taxi drove, and there was this noise like something was scraping the road as he was driving. And I could smell a burning smell. And when I actually got to Luton Road, and people on the pavement were shouting, oi, your car! And it got to the bottom of Luton Road, and I could smell burning. And I get sinus trouble, and it gives me a headache. And my nose started burning. It managed to get up to Durrell Gardens, right up the top, right up the end of Durrell Gardens. It managed to make it. And I said to him, what's wrong with your car? It's making a noise. He said, oh, it's some plastic underneath the car hanging down. So he said it's not dangerous. But why was everybody shouting when he was driving that this car was not dangerous? Everyone was shouting, oi, look! Something was hanging underneath the bottom of his car, dragging across the road, and I could smell burning. So when I got out of the taxi, my mum Jennifer came out of her flat at Durrell Gardens, paid the driver £10, and I was a bit shaken, because it had shaken my head. See, the sinus trouble I get is in the right side of my face and the head, and it felt like I'd got this lump on my head, and I couldn't focus on anything for about an hour before it wore off. And my ear, because I've got nerve damage to the face and my ear, so the smell of the burning, whatever was dragging across the road as he was driving it, was causing a horrific smell. And the noise, I could hear it. He didn't stop the taxi. He just carried on. And I said to my mum, I said, an Asian driver, like Princess Diana, yeah? An Asian driver with glasses, I'm in the back seat, I've got my seatbelt. I haven't got my seatbelt on in the back seat, I didn't put it on. You don't think you need it in the back seat, but you do. And I had a dog sat in my lap, and I thought the car was actually going to set on fire or explode. My mum actually did not seem very concerned. She said, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else. I went around the car as I got out. I couldn't see anything, but something was dragging across the road as it was being driven. And I said, if I get a taxi back home, I'm not going in that one. And the taxi on the way home was a red taxi with white lines down it. And it was the driver that usually I think smells of garlic, but it's air freshener. And he had his windows open so I could breathe some air. And all my mum kept saying when I was sat with her is, you don't live with me, do you, Genestra? You don't live at Durrell Gardens, do you? And no, I don't. I live at Corey's Road in Rochester. But I thought that car was going to go on fire. The burning smell was terrible. So I'm going to take you outside, and it's starting to thunder. So someone is delivering some Asda, and I've been up to my mum's and she's given me some food. My mum has given me a lot of food actually, and I've just been into the co-op to get some cat litter. So I'm not sat in here with nothing to eat. I've just been into the co-op. I had to get some hair conditioner and some cat litter. So I've been to see my mum. She talked about my dad, and she gave me some clothes out of bin bags, and I've got some clothes that she's given me that I will show you later on. Some second-hand clothes. I do like the white leggings and the white shorts, ladies stuff, all ladies stuff, 16 to 18. And driving home, I saw an old neighbour at Lansdowne Court. I saw Dave Arnold. I saw Dave Arnold with his bike and his Elephant Sainsbury's bag going up to Lansdowne Court. You know, the guy that I met, and he took me up the Maidstone Road near Elmsley Lodge, where my mum used to be a patient. She used to be a mental health patient at Elmsley Lodge, not me. Elmslie House, where she used to see Ben, a mental health nurse, up the Maidstone Road. And Selma Yusuf, those were my mother's mental health workers. Selma Yusuf and Ben Palaram. No, not parallelogram. When my mum first told me his name, I laughed. Palaram sounds like parallelogram, the maths shape. Right guys, I'm going to do another video in a moment, but I'm a bit shaken up. My head feels like it's being pulled off, and someone's seriously frightened enough to cause a car accident. See you later.